Ready?
Yeah.
You ready to start crying?
Start fucking explaining my feelings.
Alrighty, cool. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of A-Town Talk. We're back to the boys only episode. Just me and good old Boobie today.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Another day, another day.
Another day. Yeah, so we're just gonna have like I said, a boys only kind of catch up with each other. We don't really, like I said, we don't see each other during each shoot. So it's been two weeks since the last one. I'm pretty sure there's a lot to talk about. Last episode with Kristany it's been a really great episode. A lot of positive feedback from it. One of my favorite episodes too that we've done so far. It was very insightful. Damn, my dad's cooking.
His dad's cutting stuff.
I think he's cooking something. This is why we need a studio, guys. This is why we need to gain followers, because we need to have our own.
We need to get our own studio.
Our own studio, not just shoot in my living room.
Fucking get ads or something.
Yeah. But yeah, last episode you talked about you were gonna start therapy that day after that we shot the video. How did that go, dude? Did you end up pulling through with it? You pull out? I mean, I know you don't pull out.
I don't pull out. No. So I did one that day, that week, the next day, and then it's been 2 weeks on, so it went by really quick. And I did one last week, so I've already done 2 sessions. I'm supposed to do one this week as well. Mm-hmm. So it was really good. The first 2 sessions have gone really good. I think I picked I didn't really pick her. I just kind of looked up, different people on there, and then on Google I just kind of searched, and then I kind of went off reviews and stuff. Mm-hmm. So she's been good. The lady I'm with, she's been good. We've been able to talk, and I think I've given her a lot for the first 2 days.
I'm sure you're a handful, dude.
So she's like, oh my God, like she probably, I don't know. I feel like she does, like, she talks to people, but I don't think she's ever like really probably listened to something like some of the things that I've told her. So she's kind of like doesn't know where to start, like, and she's still like taking these, like this next. I should have one on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. But I think she wants to do that one, kind of like get a little bit more of what's going on, like my story still. And then
just have her listen to the pod.
She wants to, she says she wants to kind of, do this. I don't know if it's like a hypnosis, like a hypnotizing type thing where, you think of like very traumatizing events in your life.
Yeah.
And she says she like kind of takes you back to that place, and then by the time you're out of it, like what she's trying to get rid of is the feelings that you get when you're thinking about those traumatic times. Mm-hmm. Whether it be like, because she asked me like, well, can you give me some of something very traumatic that happened in your childhood or your life growing up? So I started telling her a little bit, and then she's like, well, how do you feel when you think about those things? And I'm like, no, well, sometimes I get anxiety, or things like that.
Yeah. So
what she's gonna do is she's gonna try and, I guess like she takes you back to that, and then by the time you're done with the whole hypnosis thing, that you shouldn't get those feelings. But she was just saying like it's one of those things where you really have to like be focused on what it is that you're thinking about, what memory it is you had. You really have to focus on it, and you have to see it. You have to see it like if you're in a dream. Because if you're just sitting there and it's black and you don't see anything and you're not taking it serious, and it's not gonna help you. I've never really been like a believer in that stuff, but I'm gonna give it a shot, and then shit, I don't know. It might work. Dude. I might be a whole new person the next time I fucking come on.
You come in here like wearing a suit and
Fuck yeah, I'll be up. Yeah, you
with
never
like
know.
a British accent. You know? Oh, mate.
Might come out of the closet, dude.
Yeah. You know, I'll accept it, dude.
Fuck.
It's okay. It's 2024. I welcome all.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. The first couple sessions that we've done have been good. Like I said, I've kind of just talked about. I've kind of just given her, like a background of where I came from and who I am and some of the things that I dealt with growing up and the reason I am the way I am, and so she kind of has an idea of how she can help me.
Yeah.
One of the main things that I'm focusing on, like one of the things that I told her that I want to focus on for sure, is the whole the affection part. When it comes to my relationship with my wife.
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, hey, that's like one of the main things, like, and I need to really. That's one of the things that I need the most help in. And we kind of went through my whole, my upbringing and my parents' upbringing and the things they went through, and we're seeing, why it's so hard for me to be that way, and it's because it's never been something that I've, how do you say, I've never experienced. I've experienced it with people that try to do it to me. When, like, my wife, she tries to be affectionate, and one of the things I explained to her is, like, when someone hugs me, like my wife, right? I'm sitting on the couch and she'll come and hug me or, try to kiss me, and I get stiff, and I don't know. I don't.
What kind of stiff are you talking about?
Yeah, that one too. That's uncontrollable. No, but
I get stiff too.
I get like, I was gonna say I get hard. I I don't like.
You tense up.
I tense up.
There you go.
Yeah. I stiffen.
You get a stiffy.
Yeah, I tense up and I don't know how to react, and she can feel it. And she tells me, like, why are you tensing up? So we're working on all that. We're working on me being more accepting of that, and also me, being able to give, a little bit of affection back, and we're starting with little things here and there, you know, just simple stuff, because obviously we don't want to start too big, and then, I'm not going to be able to do it. So
yeah, it's like everything, whenever you do something new, you gotta say, it's crawl, walk, run, right?
yeah,
It's the mentality with everything. And that's good, man. That's commendable. Proud of you that you're doing that. Not a lot of people are willing to open up. And actually, my sister-in-law, she was giving me some feedback on the episode the other day, and she's like, that's very, like, impressive. And she even said, like, I give props to Boobie for being able to recognize, your mistakes, and talking about, like, the whole, like, apologizing
yeah,
on one of the episodes, and then talking about, wanting to do therapy, because not a lot of people do that, man.
yeah.
That takes balls, and even more to, like, put it out in front of our hundreds of viewers.
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundred viewers.
Yeah.
It's a lot, dude. So cool, man. Keep going at it, and if we ever want to talk off camera, I'd rather do it on camera, because then it's content. Like, I forced Boobie to talk about it today. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't force him, but
Nah, I mean, I don't feel like, I don't know, people who wanna, do that, people, I don't know, I don't understand why, why be afraid of it, or why try to, hide it. There's no shame in it. Like, the thing with me, God,
you can just pause it.
Johnny's dad's like tossing pans around in the kitchen and shit. They're loud. So the thing with me is, I'm just like, dude, like, just do it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you know that you're lacking in something,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that you need help, just go do it. I don't know why it took me so long. Maybe it's just a maturity thing.
Yeah.
That I was just like, I didn't want to do it. I knew the things that were wrong with, like, I told my therapist, I told her, I was like, look, I don't like, I'm not here because I need you to tell me what's wrong with me. Like, I'm very self-aware of the things that I'm not doing, the things that are wrong, and you know what I need to improve on. I was like, I'm very self-aware of that. The thing I'm here for is to get help on how to deal with those things. Maybe you can give me tools, you know, to help with those things, or I might just need someone to talk to. I've never talked to anybody about my personal life, like that deep, where there's a lot of stuff going on. So maybe I just need that. Maybe just me talking to someone that's not going to judge or, you know, use it in any way, shape, or form against me later on. You know, it's going to help me.
Yeah.
I think we all deal with certain things in our lives, and I think we should all probably, you know, try and do something like that. Just,
Yeah.
it helps to talk. It helps to. Is that your dad's phone? Yeah, shit. It helps to, you know, get these things, a lot of things off your chest, man. I didn't realize how much stuff I had to like really get off my chest, but I think eventually what I want to do is get to the point where I can talk, you know, to like my parents about a lot of these things, because they don't know, or they might know, but they, you know, they're kind of close to it. But eventually get to that point and let them know, like, hey, these are the things that went on when I was a kid, and these are the things that affected my life as an adult, and you know, just to kind of, I don't know, just so they know. I feel like they should probably know a lot of the things that happen.
Yeah.
So I eventually want to get to that, you know, and then maybe eventually I'll come on here and explain my whole life story.
Yeah. Did she give you like any exercises to do outside of when you're out? Like, I know like a lot of people like say like journal, or I don't know, like.
No, most of it was just like I told you, like, it was a lot of it that I want to focus on is that affection part. And for that, she was like, you have to do it, and start off with small stuff, right? Like, start off with like holding your wife's hand at a store, because you know, I don't do that at all. So like, when you're going to a store, hold your wife's hand, or you know, before you leave the house, you know, give her a kiss, tell her I love you. Before you go to bed, same thing, you know, things like that. Because that, like I said, those are things that I don't do. Like, I don't try and hold her hand. Like, when I leave the house, I let her know like I'm leaving or whatever. But and sometimes it's very rare, you know, I'll give her a kiss and, you know, walk out or whatever. But it has to be one of those things where it's like you have to make it a habit. Like, you have to make it a habit to make
Yeah.
it feel normal.
Yeah.
Right now it
Like
feels weird.
normalize it.
Yeah, right now it feels weird because I don't do it. You know, so eventually we're gonna try to get to that point where it just becomes normal to me, and yeah, I mean, we'll work on it, you know, little by little.
We'll just start off by like dabbing her up every time you leave.
What's up, bro?
Just like dab her up, and then you work into the dab with the hug, you know, and then maybe a dab with the kiss,
Yeah.
and then sometimes you just eventually get rid of the dab and
Unas llegadas.
unas llegadas, un lleguecillo.
Oh shit. Yeah. No, I mean,
We all pack trauma, dude. I so a couple weeks ago when when I had like that, I was going through that like sinus infection. I was at the gym with the guys, and it was for one, it was really stuffy in there. It was fucking hot, and it felt very humid, and I couldn't breathe through my nose. We started working out, and it got to the point where like this has never happened to me. This is the first time this happens. I couldn't breathe because I was like congested, and then it was stuffy, and then I started panicking, dude. I got like an anxiety attack, and I had to stop working out, and I walked out. I went outside, and I just kind of, I was like grasping for air, and I was tripping, dude, and it was like, I don't know what the fuck it was. Like it really felt like an anxiety, like a panic attack, because I was trying to breathe, and then the fact that I couldn't breathe made me panic even more.
Yeah.
And I just started thinking about it, and I was just like, and I was kind of like hyperventilating. Eventually, like, I kind of just calmed down and then went back inside, and I didn't, I didn't work out anymore. And that night I was gonna go to the doctor because I'm like, well, I started like thinking like, what if something's wrong? Like maybe I have like asthma or something. I started looking into symptoms, and it kind of sounded like asthma, and just went on one of those spirals.
Yeah.
And then I told my brother I was gonna go because my brother's with me at the gym, and I took off and I was gonna go to the doctor, and I drove all the way to the doctor's, and I went to the emergency one, and I got there, and I'm like, fuck this, I don't want to get off, and I just drove back, dude. I was like, I don't want to fucking see a doctor right now, like, it's just gonna, I don't know. It was one of those weird things, and I ended up feeling a little better, and then I did go the day after, to the urgent care, but um, it was just that sinus infection. But one of the things that kind of triggered me that day when I couldn't breathe, I started thinking about my mom, dude. Like, cause when my mom passed, she couldn't breathe. It was one of the things that happened, and it was like a weird like PTSD type of thing where like I thought of that, and then like I couldn't breathe, and I instantly thought about my mom. So I'm sure I still have some traumas that I need to process as well.
Yeah.
But we're all kind of fucked in one way or another.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know. I mean, it's always good to go talk to someone. Like I've, I've gone before, man. Like I've gone to, counseling and things like that, but I've never really been like 100% in it. It's so when I first got there, she asked me, she's like, "Is this the first time you come to counseling or whatever?" And I told her, I was like, "It's the first time I come willingly." She kind of looked at me like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, yeah, like I've come before because I'm told to go, or like my wife's like, "You need to go," and kind of just feel forced to go. But this was like the first time that I went willingly, and it felt good to, want to go. And like I said, even if you know they're not going to be able to help you by any of the bullshit they say, maybe sometimes or whatever, maybe it's just you needing to talk to someone, and someone that you don't know, right? Someone different who doesn't have like who's like just that neutral, right? Because they don't know you, they don't know who you are, they don't know anything about you, so they're not gonna like judge you, you know, based off of them knowing you. They're just gonna go off of what you're telling them, and they're gonna tell you like, hey, this is what I think is going on, and this is what I think, this is how you need to fix this, or this is what I think. And a lot of time, you're probably not gonna like what they're telling you, right?
Yeah.
But that's where like that self reflection comes in. You're like, okay, what they're telling me is true because I know this, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing that she can tell me that I already don't know. Like if she tells me like, yeah, you're fucked up, like I know that. Like I know.
You're like, no shit. That's why I'm here.
I know it's wrong. That's why I'm here is to help, even if it's just talking. So, I mean, if you feel like you're having, you know, I'm sure it's traumatizing for anybody to lose their mother, and then especially the way you had to go through, where you were with her like the last days, right? Where you saw her just kind of, in her last moments. Hell yeah, that's traumatic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe you need to, maybe you need to talk to someone. Maybe you need to fucking let something out. Maybe you need to, just you got something bottled up that you want to, kind of let out and let go, and maybe that's a place to start. And I don't like to tell people like, hey, yeah, you need to go, because I fucking hate it when people used to tell me like, you need to go, you need to go. I'd be like, fuck you, like I don't need to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
I'll go when I want. And that mentality for me wasn't working. And I realized that, and I just, like I said, now it's willingly, and I want to go, and I don't have a problem with it. Like I want to go, and actually looks forward to, going this week. Um, I think Wednesday is my next appointment. So I'm looking forward to it, seeing, what we're going to talk about. And I look forward to looking at her and seeing her expression when I tell her some of the things that I tell her. She kind of looks at me like, what the fuck? And she just like, she has like a notepad and she's just like writing shit, dude, like writing. And she's just like, okay, hold on. Go back to like, so you were like, what? And so I'm like, she's like, oh my God, like that is traumatizing. So, um, no, but the one thing that I take out of that is like, even through all that, like and I've always seen it this way, like I've always tried to see it in a positive way. Like even through all that, I I didn't turn out as bad as I could have. Like I think it could have been like my life could have been very different
Yeah.
from what it is now. Like I could have been on the other side of the law. I could have, just do things. I think things would have gone like so much different, But
Mm-hmm.
I think I've always had like that self awareness where I know that I don't want to be what I've experienced in the past, and I've known that growing up. Like I've always told myself a lot of these things, right? Where I don't want to be that. I don't want to be what I've seen growing up. I don't want to be the things that I've experienced. I don't want my kids to experience any of that. I don't want my kids to see any of that. Like, so I've had that self awareness, and it kind of helped me in life to become, who I am right now. And right now, I feel like I'm just trying to be um, that much better. Like, I feel like I made it. I made it pretty far, but I think I can make it a lot further if I can just really work on myself.
Yeah.
And get that that little extra help.
That's good, dude. That is really good. And you nailed it with the self awareness, because there are people that lack that, right? And I think ultimately, if you want to grow as a person or in anything in life, you need to be self aware and you need to work on your weaknesses, right? Like you were able to acknowledge, look, this is my weakness. I'm not affectionate, and you're trying to work on that, right? It's like I like to compare it as like to people that skip leg day,
Yeah.
right? You know, there's those people that you always see them in the gym. They're always doing chest. They're always doing arms. And yeah, they're gonna have a really big chest and really big arms, but you're
Yeah.
missing out on the legs. And if you want to be a full, complete person, you have to do work the whole body, right? And it's the same like with your body, your emotions. You have to work on your emotions, your mental state, your physical. Like it's all connected. And I really like that episode with Kristen because she touched up on a lot of that, and it's hard because we don't, like you said, we don't normalize it, right? Like, and it's one of those things with men where a lot of those things are kind of like taboo, like talking about your feelings. Like you're seen weaker in a lot of, in a lot of instances you can be seen weaker for going, and I think that's why people avoid going to therapy, because
Yeah.
nobody wants to be seen as weak.
Yeah.
I suffer for that sometimes too, where I don't I don't like to show weakness. I don't, even though like I'm not a very like imposing person,
Yeah.
but I've always been proud of like my mental state, and that I feel like I'm very mentally strong and emotionally, like I keep my emotions in check for the most part. But sometimes that's not good. Like sometimes you gotta let loose and you gotta have an outlet, because yeah, bottling up is not good. And like the whole thing with my mom, I feel like I have processed a lot of it on my own, and I thought there was you know I didn't know I had that, like when I had that anxiety attack, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I didn't know until like it happened. So I don't know, maybe there is something that is still in process, and maybe I'm not fully, like I know I'm not fully over it, because you never get over something like that. But
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not an emotional mess every day.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty solid for the most part.
And I feel the same way. I've always, I've always, had the pride of, me being, I feel like I don't show emotion. I felt like that made me strong, right? It made me strong to not show emotion, to not show when, you know, I was sad, when I was, feeling a certain way. Like for me, it was like, no, you don't show emotion, and that shows you're strong. But in the long run, it was just like really like fucking me up because I wasn't letting anything out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't talking about anything. I just wasn't letting it out. And there's a lot of things that have to be let out. There's a lot of the time, when, so growing up, right? My dad too was always like very, don't cry.
Yeah.
If you feel pain, you don't cry. Like you keep, I played sports and I was hurt, dude. Like there was times where I was like legit hurt. And it was like, no, like fuck no,
Like walk it off.
you played through that shit and you
Yeah.
and I had that mentality for so long, which is why I dealt with a broken ankle for fucking 5 years in pain, right? Because it was like, fuck no, like I'm good. Like I don't need that. There was countless times where, um, like one time I fucking fractured my elbow and I took the cast off myself and ended up playing again, like
God damn.
because it was like that mental toughness, like that's just the way I was raised. I was raised not to feel, anything, not to feel emotion, not to be able to speak my emotions. Like if I felt like I was going through anxiety or if I had, um, so I'll give you guys a scenario. When I was a freshman, I was going to Coronado, and I was playing at Coronado, playing football, and for me it was tough, man, because I was like we lived here in Anthony. My dad would drive me over there in the morning. I'd get there before everybody to school, and then because he would go to work, so I'd get there before everyone. So just be there all day, and then go to school all day, go to practice, and then get out of practice, and then go, and then just wait till my dad got out of work and was able to pick me up. I would come home, basically just eat, and then go to bed, and then repeat the same shit over and over. And it was like not only that, but there was like a lot of pressure on like making sure that I was, doing good because I didn't want my parents, they were making that sacrifice to take me over there. And I started getting this bald spot on my head, like on the top of my head. It was like I was starting to get like this bald spot. It was pretty big. And my mom took me to the doctor, and because she was like, "What the fuck's going on?" So she takes me to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "It's the stress, it's the anxiety that he's going through. Like you know, he's going through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He whatever it is he's going through." And we tell my dad, and my dad's kind of like, and my dad was like, "Fuck, like, what the fuck are you stressed about? Like, you don't pay bills, like, you don't do shit, like,
Yeah.
you have no reason to be stressed, right?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Fuck, like, yeah, you're right. Like,
Yeah. Just tough it out.
I'll
Yeah.
suck it up."
Yeah.
And so it was that type of thing, right? And then I go to the military, and I join the Marines, and as it is there too, man, like as it is, I didn't have much emotion, and then I go there, and it's like
Like,
now you
yeah.
really strip me of everything. Like now it's like one of the famous things that the Marine Corps, like, they have like a famous saying. It's called "Pain is weakness leaving the body."
Yeah. I've seen T-shirts and water
And
bottles on that shit. Yeah.
like, what pain? Like, what are you going through? I remember being, you're in boot camp, and it's a very fucking stressful, dude. Like, it's stressful there, and they're telling you like nobody cares, nobody gives a fuck like what you're going through. It doesn't matter. You don't talk about it. You don't worry about it. Like nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
You're here to do one job, and that's it. So as it is, like now you're with all these guys that are just the exact same way, and you know it got worse. It just got worse, and I didn't talk to anybody. I never, I didn't know how. I just, and it really affected me in a lot of ways, man. Like a lot of ways. Everything was just, I didn't feel at peace ever. Like I was always just, I felt like I was always stressed and just I had so much anxiety, and I had gone through like depression and things like that, and it's just like it was bad. Um, and I think like I'm saying with mature, I just I kind of see like my kids, and I want different for them, and I want different for my own marriage, and I want different for my own household. And I need to get a lot of shit off of me because it's a lot of weight to carry around for 31 years.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So they were just like, fuck this. I got I got to do it. Like I have to. Like there's no other way anymore. Like I know what the problem is, and I need to get it fixed. And that was pretty much it.
Do you feel better now? Even I know it's only been like 2 weeks, but do you notice a difference? Like, do you feel some of that weight like coming off?
Yeah, like so I feel like I've this whole year I've kind of just made changes that are helping me in like every way possible. And yeah, like I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm in a better mood all the time. Like you know, like I feel better. Yeah, as a person, as I feel like I'm just have this better attitude towards things, and there's not so much negativity there, and I try to stay away from the negativity. Or if I see something negative that I don't like I stay away from it, and it's just I feel a lot better, and I think you know it's overall, man. Like it's good for your health. Like your mental health will has a way of affecting your physical health.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for the longest time, I just didn't feel healthy, right? And
Yeah.
there was a lot of things that I felt like I was having problems with, and going to my doctor and things like that. Um, but I feel like right now, it's with all the things I'm doing and trying to just do better. It's I can see it, I can feel the change, and I can only imagine, you know, what the change will be like, in 6 months, in a year, 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
3 years. So I'm just trying to, because I know, like I said earlier, if I've made it this far with all that, like I know I can make it like 10 times further than I have, without any of it. So
Yeah, that's good, man. And it's like Kristen, you said, normalize it, like make this a normal thing. Like even us just right now talking and being vulnerable, like not a lot of people have the balls to do that.
yeah,
And it's not easy, man. It really isn't. And I've gotten a lot comfortable doing it, and to me this helps. Like it makes it easy for me to talk about things here because this is kind of like my safe space,
yeah,
because I know like I'm kind of in control, and I don't know, like, and the other thing is like if if by me being vulnerable, that means like somebody will see it and have them be vulnerable and do something, like that's cool, man. Because you make an impact on someone. So
yeah.
kudos to you for that shit.
And there's a lot of people who are just waiting for like someone to say it's okay, like that. And I think that's what kind of like what happened with me is, I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and a lot of the podcasts I listen to are pretty, um, they're like positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time, these guys talk about, you see these guys are like tough, fucking roughneck dudes, and you know, badass dudes, Navy SEALs, ex Navy SEALs, um, shit like that, and they talk about them making that change, and talking to someone and getting that help, and how it really helped them in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was like, fuck, like, okay, like I see someone doing it, someone's talking about doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe it is okay to,
Yeah.
go do it. So, yeah, I mean, if I can talk about it and somebody sees this and they're like, oh shit, like, it might change their perspective on things, or they might, feel a little bit like someone's got your back, right? Like you're not doing it alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, hopefully it helps people, and hopefully they, they take what I'm saying, and they can use it to their advantage. Because I wish I would have found someone to tell me sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't, and right now it's happening now, so it's okay. Like, it's cool. But hopefully I can reach, help somebody else out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's like it would have been nice to know sooner so you could have been better right now. But
yeah,
I mean, at least it's better late than never, right?
yeah, yeah. And luckily, I've had, like my wife, dude. She probably like just that the fact that she's like stuck through like a lot of the shit that I've you know gone through and put it through, and just the mental part of it. I think that helps too. Having someone who like supports you on that stuff. So yeah, I mean, eventually, like I said, I might want to tell my parents. It's like I feel like it because I feel like if I go like if I was to tell my dad, like he'd probably be like, "Why the fuck are you going to counseling?" Like giving, telling people your problems, like something like that. And I don't think he means it like he just that's how he grew up, and that's the only way he sees things. And I mean, it's not his fault. Like that's just the way
Maybe if they see the pod, they'll.
they watch
Yeah.
sometimes. So we'll see.
It's hard talking about. I get you with talking to parents because I I f- I think I talked in one of the episodes before where for years I never really like talked to my dad about anything, and it wasn't until that my mom passed, and it's just me and him living here that things changed, and I kind of started spending more time with them, and even now, like, I still don't fully 100% open up on a lot of things, but we do have conversations, right? Like we do talk more about certain stuff, and I think it's getting better little by little, but just
Yeah,
that initial one is hard because for one, they're a whole different generation, right? Like there is like a 30-year gap between me and my dad,
yeah,
30 some years. So that's a lot. Even sometimes with 5 6 years, there's a difference with someone, and you can imagine a whole 30 years. So it's just trying to figure out how to make them understand and have them understand you, you know, and that's communication, really, trying to get your point across. Like a lot of the times, you have to try different ways because maybe the first way didn't didn't work out. But it's one of those things where baby steps, just little by little, keep
yeah,
talking it up.
yeah. And it's working at it, man. Like you were saying earlier, the people, use that example of people going to the gym and working out, you know, the things they're good at, right? Their
Mm-hmm.
biceps, their chest, and forgetting about their legs.
Yeah.
And as people, that's what we do. We just worry about what we're good at, and we don't worry about what we're not good at, what we struggle with. We
Mm-hmm.
don't. We're afraid of that because we know we're not good at it.
Yeah.
So we don't want to go there. Like we're like, fuck no. Like we'll try to do everything to avoid that.
Because it's harder, right? You got to put in the work.
Yeah. And I'm just like, nah, fuck that. Like I've always had that mentality. Like anything that, and I think this is where I use this. Where I was like, why haven't I not used this mentality towards my mental health, towards these things that I'm working on? Where I've always been that type of person where like if something's hard for me, that's what I want to go to. That's what I want to do. I don't shy away from it being hard. I don't give a fuck how hard it is. Like that's what I want to go do. And I was like, well, why don't I do that with like m- everything that I'm lacking as far as my mental health is as my problems that I'm having, internally. Like, why haven't I taken that, that course? And I was like I said, I finally just decided like, fuck that. Like, yeah, it's going to be hard, but, um, like I'm up for the challenge, and I'm actually excited to see, you know, I'm excited to go every day and just challenge myself and see where
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get to. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. It's going good so far.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll get on my level, dude. Keep
So,
going enough days, and you'll be looking like me.
I did want to I had an update on, so I think it was like I don't remember, like the second episode,
I think
first
it was
episode,
episode 2.
episode 2, where I was like talking about my real father, that I hadn't spoke to him in whatever amount of time, and I had seen him, and he had told me he was going to reach out, and then you asked me if he had, and I was like, no, like fuck no. Um, I don't know if he saw that. He might have seen it, or he might have, somebody might have told him about it.
He subscribed.
And
thanks for the sub.
He reached out to me on Facebook, and he kind of like, I don't want to get into like the exact, but he was like, yeah, you know what? I apologize for not reaching out sooner, and he reached out and was like, I really want to, hang out and stuff. He was like, what's your schedule like? Um, and I told him like, yeah, I work these days, but I'll let you know because I'm usually pretty busy. Like if I'm doing something, if I'm not working, I'm with the kids at practice, or I'm doing this, or I'm usually busy. And he was like, no, yeah, just let me know and we'll try to, work around it and see what we can do. So I had kind of just put it to the side. I had time off, and I had kind of just put it to the side. I hadn't said anything to him. And I went to the therapist, and I was talking to her, and I told her that. And she was like, well, why haven't you reached out? Like, why haven't, if you have time, like, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just like,
maybe you're not ready yet,
or I think I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I had said before, if he put in the effort, then I would put in the effort.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that was his way of putting the effort. And I was like, fuck, like I'm not doing what I said I was going to do.
Yeah. Like balls in your court,
Yeah. So after I spoke to her the first time, I went back and I was like, hey, I'm going to be off this day and, whatever. But I guess he got fucking, and this is, dude, and this is why, like, I don't want to do it because, and I guess this is some of the reason where I'm like, I don't want to do it because there's always like something that comes up, right? Yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm off these days. And he had said, tell me the days you're off, we'll make it work. I was like, hey, I'm off these days. I give him like a few days. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like he said yes to me or whatever. He was like, yeah, for sure. Like he had picked like Friday. And we were like, okay, cool. Like Friday afternoon, we'll like talk about the time at like when it gets closer. So like a couple of days before, he messages me and he's like, hey, sorry, like it's not that I don't want to hang out or whatever. He's like, but I have COVID, and I was just like, like I don't know if like I didn't want to say that I don't believe him, but I was like, oh my god, like.
Well, at least he reached out and told you that, and he could have just like stood you up, and then that would have,
caused a whole
more trauma.
No, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying I don't believe him, mm-hmm. But it was just like, fuck, like this is why I don't like to reach out. Like I'm just like, because then shit like this, but it's life, right? So I was like, all right, cool. Like whenever you're good, like just let me know. Like it's whatever, and then so.
Yeah, figure it out. I would say just keep it like in the, like I know that's kind of like one of those like touchy subjects, but the way I see it, he made that effort, and at least he notified you, and maybe he did have COVID. It's been people have been getting sick left and right now.
Yeah, and my sister had COVID, so, and like I said, he talks to my sister a lot more and he hangs out with her, so I know they had been together. So my sister had COVID when they went to Disney, and then they got back. Mm-hmm. And so they might have gotten it, during that time. So
blame your sister, dude. Go shit on her.
So I'm like, whatever. Like, it'll happen when it happens, and it'll have its time. That's gonna be a whole like other fucking like thing. I'll probably do like updates here every now and then how that goes. But
that's good, man. My advice to you, and like I mean, I'm not in your shoes, like I don't know what that's like, and I don't, but I would say try to just be open-minded, and you're probably not going to get the resolution that you're looking for right away, or I don't know what the fuck you're looking for. That's something between you and your therapist, but just be open minded about it. And I think it's like you said, your mindset is different, right? Because if
Yeah.
this was Boobie like a year ago, 2 years ago, you would have been like, fuck no, or you wouldn't even message back, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the timing is right, and you know, you you seem to know what's up, so. And you
Yeah.
never know, man. It's never too late to rekindle relationships with parents. I don't know if I told you, but my mom was abandoned when she was a baby by her biological mom,
Yeah.
and she was raised by her grandmother and her aunt. And my mom was able to rekindle her relationship with her biological mom, and they were really good. And you know, my grandmother ended up passing away, and my mom, I know that really hurt her, and but I remember her telling me that she was very grateful that at least she was able to make up with her, you know, and she was able to enjoy her for years, and kind of, you know, she never got that back,
Yeah.
but you know, it's doable. It happens.
Yeah. I don't even like. I don't know what it is I'm looking for as far as like rekindling the relationship with me and him. Like I don't because like I don't need a fatherly figure right now. Like at this,
Yeah,
I'm 31. Like I don't need a
you
fatherly
got
figure.
me. Yeah,
So like
daddy.
I don't need that. I mean, like I don't need. I haven't had him for so long. Like I know I don't need him. So I don't know what I'm like trying to do. I think the thing that I don't want to feel is so when his mom passed away. I know for a while she was trying to get a hold of me too, and she was trying to talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, no, like fuck no, and I didn't want to talk to her, and I didn't talk to her, and I was even rude to her one time. Like she tried to hug me, and I kind of just like blew her off, and um, when she died, and I went to go see her before she died, like I saw her the last days of her, she was on her deathbed, and like I'm sitting there, right, and I'm like thinking, like what kind of relation? Because I had cousins that were there. I had aunts and uncles that I had never met, right? That I hadn't seen in a long time, and they were like all talking about her, the way she was, and how she was just she's always very trying to feed people and trying to just
Yeah.
she just had like a very good heart. And I remember sitting there looking at her. She's like, just doesn't know what's going on or anything like that. And I'm like, what kind of relationship could I have had with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, what would things have been like if I would have just allowed myself to have that relationship with her? And I think I just don't want to say that, if that day was to come, with my biological father, I don't want to, I at least want to say like, at least I tried, right? And
Yeah.
if things don't work out, they don't work out, whatever. And if things, go good, then they go good. But at least I can say that, what, I tried, and not sit there again when they're fucking they're on their deathbed, and I'm like, fuck, like what could have what kind of relationship could I have had? There's a lot of regrets that were going through my fucking head
Yeah.
for that moment, that whole time. Like even now I think about it, I'm like, fuck, like I could have had a good relationship. Like I could have had my grandma from my dad's side. Like I could have things could have been different. And a lot of my pride and my anger and whatever it is that I was feeling didn't allow me to do that. So I think that's just something that I don't want to have to feel again.
Yeah.
Because even that shit, I kind of just bottled it up and didn't explain anything. I just dealt with it. So
It sounds like you're trying to get resolution, right?
yeah,
Like this whole chapter of, your biological dad not being in your life is unresolved. Like it's been an
yeah,
open mystery this whole time. And yeah, you don't, like you said, you don't need a father figure. You have one of those, but you can at least turn the page, close the book on that part of your life, because right now the way I see you, you're like Boobie 2.0. You're working on all these like
Yeah.
aspects of your life, and you're trying to improve, and that's one of those things that is there, that's always been in the back of your mind, like you said. Like it's been a constant, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it does have more effect than you don't even realize. But I think it's good that, go through with it, see it through, see what it leads to, and it's like you said, at the end of the day, at least you tried. Dude, you don't need a fucking therapist. You have me right here.
Dude, I have myself, dude. I can just give myself fucking therapy. Yeah. No, but that's why I'm saying, like everything that I'm talking about, I'm talking to you guys like I know about it. Like I know what's going on. It's just being able to talk about it and being able to get that insight from someone else, and different perspectives of how, because it was, for me, probably my perspective would just be like, fuck it, like I'm not gonna do anything about it, but maybe somebody else can be like, no, like try this, and maybe yeah, maybe maybe this whole thing's not gonna work out the way I think it's gonna work out, and maybe he fucking pisses me off and we don't have a relationship.
Yeah.
But at least, right? Like at least I know, like I know why he was, who he is and what he's about, and I'll have at least peace of mind with that. So yeah, it's a journey, dude, and it's not something that I'm gonna be able to, like. It's not something that's gonna go away, today, tomorrow. Like it's something that's gonna be a work in progress for a long time to come. It's been 31 years of my life, so it's a lot of work, a lot of work. But I'm gonna do whatever I got to do, and then we'll see what happens.
I was gonna say, in one of the other episodes, you were talking about how like it took you 31 years to like figure it out. I feel the same way, man. With my life, because my life the past year and a half, almost 2 years now. Like, so if you watch the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movies,
Yeah,
you see the second one where they're talking about like canon events.
yeah,
So I feel like losing my mom was my canon event.
yeah.
That was the thing that kind of set me off. And for those who don't know what a canon event is, it in the comics, these superheroes, they have events that kind of change their life, and it's what sets them on the course to become like a superhero. So like Batman, Bruce Wayne, his parents get killed in an alley, and then he eventually, you know, talk about somebody that's fucked up in the head. Batman's fucked up in the head. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, like Uncle Ben dies, and then he becomes Spider-Man. So I had that where like my mom dying, I felt like was my canon event. And ever since, like, just my life has been changing drastically, like in all aspects of it. I was in a relationship, I got out of a relationship. That was different. And then just kind of learning to deal with, with this new life, and then started the podcast. And then this has been like something completely different. Like it's been weird, but I like the change. I was a person that never, I was a very what is it, complacent person, where like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
That was like my mentality for a lot of things. And now that I'm challenging myself, I'm doing that, where like I'm doing new things, or it's I like that feeling, and I like that of like jumping into something that you don't know and trying to figure it out, And like it's like you, like I feel like it sucks that it took me this long, because if we would have started doing this like years ago, like it would have been different. But things happen for a reason. I am a firm believer of that, and I think all those things needed to happen for this moment to be a reality. So it's crazy, man. Life is crazy, and I'm sure everybody out there's got a story like they have that canon event, that has shaped their life. But it's what you do with it, right? It's like you could let it consume you and kind of like go to the dark side or whatever, or you make the most out of it and you become a fucking superhero.
Yeah.
And I'm a fucking superhero.
Yeah, I mean that's the afraid of change. Everybody is afraid of change. Everybody likes comfortable. Nobody wants to change. Nobody wants to change anything that makes them uncomfortable. And sometimes what's uncomfortable is what's good and what you need. Like that, we need to get out of our everyday. Just because it's not broke doesn't mean like that
It can be better.
it can be better.
Yeah.
There's so much more shit that you can accomplish if we just get out of our comfort zones. And it's just one of those things. Yeah, like I said, people were just I myself was afraid to get out of it for so long. I was afraid of what people might think if I went to go get help, what people might say, if I was gonna look weak, or if I was, and for me it was just like I'm trying to think like what was the event where I was like, fuck, like I can't keep doing this. And it was just like a switch in my head, dude. It was like one day, and I think it was like to start the new year off. I kind of reflected on the whole year, the whole past year, and then I started kind of going back to all the years, and I was like, no, like I didn't like this, I didn't like this, I didn't like this, I didn't like this, I didn't like any of this that was going on. I don't want to go through it again this year. So what am I going to do? Because it's not going to change on its own.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do something. So I started just everything that I knew that I was not doing good, that I was, struggling with and just going through. I was like, fuck that. We got to fix that. And we got to fix this and we got to fix this. And slowly just started working on little things, man, like on my own, like just little shit that, people might think like, oh, you know, that's dumb. Like something where I was like, you know what? I say a lot of bad words, and I do say a lot of bad words.
Yeah.
But like around my kids, I don't say bad words.
Yeah.
I don't, like, you won't hear me say anything like that. Just little changes like that where I was like, because I'm raising these guys now. Like I'm raising two boys right now, right? My daughter lives in North Carolina, so she's with her mom most of the time, right? But now I got two boys that live with me. And how are they going to grow up? What kind of men are they going to be? Like, what kind of men are they going to be to society? Right? And I want to make sure that I'm raising men, like real men. And when I say men, I don't mean the man that I was raised to think I should be. The man who doesn't talk about what's wrong. The man who, who's just about this, like, like that machismo, that type of shit.
Yeah.
Where we don't help with anything around the house. We don't, you know what I mean? I was like, no, like they're watching me grow up, dude. These kids are watching every single little thing I do, and they pick up everything I do.
Yeah. They're fucking sponges.
So I was like, I need to make sure that they see what a man's supposed to be like. And maybe that was like, my thing, my kind of event, seeing my kids. And like, I think maybe when my second son was born, and I was like, fuck, like, this is two.
Shit's getting real.
That's two boys, like, in my house. They need to be. I need to raise men, like, good young men. And I've been trying, and I try a lot, and it's hard, but like I'm doing what I can, and every day I kind of look into my day, like I kind of look back into my day, like at the end of the day, I'm there at night, and I'm like, okay, a certain event that happened with my son or something, and I'm like, okay, how could I have, how could they have gone better? How could I have, worked on this, or how could I have done this, or and I kind of go through these things at night, and I'm like, okay, tomorrow let's try to fix that, or if that scenario is to come up later on in the future, let's fix it. Let's not do it the way I just did it. Let's do it another way. So it's all just that, you know, being self-aware, self-reflection, everything, understanding where you're doing wrong and how you need to fix it.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Good shit. Like I said, I'm proud of you, and yeah, normalize it. I don't think we see it enough in in the media and social media and like what we consume, because we're fucking consumers, man. Like I one of the first episodes we had talked about how wanted to spend less phone time and stuff like that. And now, like, ever since we started doing this, like, I feel like my time has doubled because now I'm just constantly consuming, because I want to see what's out there. Like, I want to see what, not necessarily what we're up against. I'm not. I feel like we're very original in what we do. Like, we're genuine. We're not trying to be anybody or trying to fake anything. Like, but still, like, I don't know. There's a part of me that just wants to know, be aware.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of negativity. And I was watching this podcast too the other day where they were talking about how easy it is to become famous over like being negative, right? There's channels that report negative things, or like if a celebrity does something, like they're on it, or there's people that just go viral for doing something stupid, and like people are so attracted to that, right? Even like reality TV, it's not as, I don't think it's as popular as it used to be, but like the Jersey Shore, right? The Jersey Shore was like super popular, but those people were a fucking mess.
Like, it was no problem, all problems. Like,
yeah, it was like problem. Like every episode, there was always drama or something crazy, but people were attracted to that, and people were attracted to seeing tragedy or trying to seeing shit like that. And that's like the easy way out, and it's hard to be positive, because a lot of the time you get called corny or cringe or like, oh, like that's, that shit's gay or whatever, but I think longevity wise and just personally, like, I'd rather take that road. And even if we are corny or cringe or whatever, like, fuck it, at the end of the night, I'm sleeping.
Yeah. And I mean, I think we'll pull in, the people that want to see that stuff, that want to see the positive and don't want to see all that negative shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we'll get, like everybody get your little haters here and there, but you want to pull the right people in, because once you start pulling those right people in and you start seeing more positive, and it's crazy how I think positivity works, like, or just being, a good person and all that, how that works, because just, I feel like you doing it, someone seeing it rubs off on them, and then they want to do it, and then it's just like a chain, right? Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully we, that's something we can do is, if not, if you don't learn anything from this, or we don't fucking make you laugh, at least you can take that positivity from this show and use it in your personal life, or use our personal struggles, and see how they can help you, or, just take whatever we're saying and hopefully it can help someone else.
Yeah. The whole, that whole, like, being a good person, and it pays off, because I feel like I'm not fucking perfect. I never claim to be perfect, but I think my parents did well and they taught me well. And I would consider myself a good person for the most part, I have moments where, yeah, I can be a dick, but who hasn't, know? But being positive and being a good person, it makes others want to work with you. I noticed it now. The people that I've reached out to come on the pod, like, I've always been very hesitant about it, But everybody that I've asked to come on, they like, yeah, like they jump on the idea. They're like, yeah. And I've had a lot of the times, most of them, they've been like, yeah, actually, I was gonna reach out to you, you know.
Yeah.
And and that makes me feel good because I know we're doing something good and we're doing something that people want to be a part of. I've had multiple people that want to be on the pod, and I'm pretty sure you've had people too, like they want to come on board, and it, you know, we had talked about being a little selective with the guest. We're not gonna clout chase or anything like that, but we're trying to put on, you know, we're trying to be entertaining, and we're trying to put on something that we would want to watch, you know. And I think there will be those moments where we, you know, get some random people in here just because it's you know, we're not nothing too crazy, but that makes me feel good and that makes me feel appreciated, and that's awesome. Like, and for those of you who have been on already or, you know, have reached out and stuff, like, thank you guys. Like, that's cool. Like, it really makes me want to keep doing this. And I've been seeing a lot of good feedback and comments and people really loving it. New people that I've never, you know, that started watching it. And I think that's awesome. Like, there's been 2 hater comments that I've seen. One of them on TikTok. Chencha sent me the thing. Some guy commented like, "Cancel these clowns."
What was it for?
It was one of the, I don't know what video it was. I need to go on the TikTok account. I don't have a TikTok, so she usually just sends me the stuff. But he's like, "Cancel these clowns." I'm like, I mean, he's not wrong, you know.
Oh fuck.
But it's like, it's funny because you just putting a hate comment out there, like, you're really gonna take the time of day to fucking shit on someone. The other one was one of the, I think it was in the Jermaine episode, one of the shorts. We were talking about cows, and then the guy put, "Y tu mamá tiene dos." We were talking about like no legs, or he said like dos patas, and then he commented like, "Tu mamá tiene dos," like saying that my mom was a cow, or Jermaine's, I don't know whose mom, somebody's mom. But it's like, dude, like, really, like, and I didn't get it, dude, for the longest time. And I even text Jermaine, like, "Dude, what does he mean by this?" Like, and we're like, "I don't know." And then one day it clicked. He's like, "Oh, he was saying that one of our moms
is fucking fat."
Yeah.
Was he saying? Was that like on YouTube or?
That one was on YouTube. It's one of the shorts. So go look at the short, and then go shit on the guy commenting. Just kidding. No, no. But
man, I mean,
I think it's funny. Like,
you'll get them, and we're gonna probably, you know, as it grows, there's always gonna be people who aren't happy with themselves, or aren't happy with what they're doing, or wishing they were, you know, maybe in your shoes, or wishing they had those opportunities to do some of the things that you're doing, and because they don't know how to deal with it, they're gonna say something negative about it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna try to, you know, bring you down and do whatever. But I mean, dude, I don't give a fuck about what people say. Yeah. I don't care. I don't. That's funny, like what he said about your mom or Herma's mom. His mom passed away, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's dick. Yeah. Hope you feel like an asshole.
If you're talking about Herma's mom, well,
she'll fuck you up.
Talk about Norma that way.
Yeah. But it's funny, man. And like, and we said it in one of, I think it was the first episode that we said, we're not everybody's cup of tea. Like, you know, you either like us or you don't. And not every episode is going to be, you know, for everybody either. Like, you know, we're still trying to figure it out. We're learning things as we go. We're trying new, we literally try new things every fucking episode. Our setup today is a different setup than previous ones. And, you know, it's crazy, dude. We're only 3 months in, you know, and what, this like 10, 11, 12 episodes, something like that. Like, it's a lot, man. But I think we're doing good. I'm like I said, I'm very proud. And even if this doesn't go anywhere and I don't care. Like, I'm having fun doing this. Like, this is what I love. Like, just having these episodes where we just talk and like, it's fun. It's fucking fun.
Yeah. No, and we're getting like really good feedback from from the comments. Like, people are like, you know, on the most recent episodes, they're like, "Oh shit, like these are your best episodes. Like, you guys are getting good. Like, you guys, you know," a lot of people are, you know, showing love and support, and
I
it's
think we
awesome.
peaked. We peaked with the last 2 minutes.
And then it's gonna just be shitty episodes from.
It's just me and Boobie.
No, we did. It's because I don't know. I think kind of it helped that we had really good guests, and then we kind of just got out of like the. I don't know. Maybe we didn't know what we were doing in the beginning, and we kind of got out of that. And then we had a few good guests that were just like. I'm not gonna say that the other guests weren't good because they were.
Jermaine, step up.
But I think they came at a right time where everything just kind of meshed together, and it worked. It fucking worked beautifully, and the episodes came out just I think it really started once we did the desert honey one.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of it went from there. We got that momentum, and it's going. And then we're probably gonna disappoint you and fucking
go back down.
Go all the way back
it's
down.
A roller coaster with us. No, but I told Boobie like they can all be bangers, and it's cool. Like, but we do have some guests upcoming that we're trying to mix it up, and it's fun, man, and it's even a challenge for us having different people because so like with Jen and Kristiny, we hadn't seen them in years. It's not like they're we're cool with them, but it's not somebody that we talk to. It's not like me and Boobie, that we talk all the time, or like with Jermaine, but it's kind of it's a little nerve-wracking interviewing somebody new, but at the same time I find it so interesting because it's somebody new and you can ask things that you're genuinely curious about, and I love that aspect of like getting to know somebody and talking to them, and that's what I'm doing, and like I love that. Like I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And with like people that we up and coming people that we have, like my mentality is like let's try to make it to like shift the episode towards the guest, highlight them and make the episode like focused on them and kind of how we can do that. We got an episode with Clockpack coming up where we're gonna go dive into his world, and go into the shooting range and stuff like that. And if you guys don't know who Glockpack is, soon enough you will know.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think we're also, we had talked about being selective, right, with guests and all that. And I think what we mean by that is like, what we're really trying to do too is like, get people who that we can help, because if you've noticed the people that we brought on, they have their own, business, or they're doing their own thing, and we kind of we want to, just shed light on them and be like, hey, look at what they're doing, like they're doing good, and try and help them, and just kind of positivity everywhere, right? Trying to help them help us, we all help each other, like we're all trying to do something similar. We're all different, but we're doing something similar, and that's starting something from scratch, and just enjoying what we do, and doing things that we're passionate about. So that's kind of where we're at, or what we've been doing. So if you don't have anything to offer, then fuck it. We're not coming on. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But that's what kind of our goal has been recently, or up to now. And I think, maybe later we'll, just start bringing fucking
random,
just
like pick up somebody from the
homeless
street.
people from the. Oh, no, I can't say homeless.
People without homes.
People without homes, or
I was talking to Sal. By the way, huge shout out to Sal. He made our new A-Town Talk sign that we have, our LED bigger and better. And he's also helping out with some cool, exciting news that I'll talk about later on in the episode. But anyways, I want to go have lunch with them, and we were just, just talking about the podcast and different stuff. And somehow we ended up, the conversation led to like when we first started this. And I remember one of the questions I asked you, when we first we were talking about it, and I told him like why, like why do you want to do a podcast, right? Do you remember when I told you that? Do you remember what you answered?
No, I don't.
Probably fucking
What did I say?
bullshitted an answer. But you said that you felt like you had a story to tell.
Oh yeah.
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 And that was the moment I knew, I'm like, all right, this fucker is actually pretty deep. You know, he's not all like shits and giggles all the time. And that stuck with me, dude, ever since that day zero, that you said that. And I kind of take that mentality with every guest that we have. Like, everybody's got a story to tell, you know. Yeah, it's cool if somebody has like something to plug and we can promote it and like spotlight it, and that's cool. But at the same time, there's other people that maybe they don't have that, but you know, they have their own story, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And just kind of keep that mentality with it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. I do remember saying that, and it's true. Right? I kind of wanted to. It was. I had the same thought. Was if I got something, you know, that I want to talk about, I got things that I want to say. You know, tell my story. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who also would love to tell their story, and who, you know, just are kind of looking for someone to say it's okay to just, you know, talk. And I think me kind of telling you guys a little bit of, you know, my story and me and who I am and things that, you know, have happened in my life, you know, I feel like it allows people to be like, oh, okay, like it's a safe space for someone to come on here and you know, talk about, you know, whatever it is they want to talk about. You know, they're not going to feel judged, because I'm telling you what, I'm not going to judge you, because like I can't. Like I have no room for that shit. Like there's like, no, I can't. Like
I'm gonna judge you. I'm just not gonna tell you.
the things that, you know, I've gone through and, you know, experienced. Like there's no way that I can be like, oh fuck you. Like no, we all got a story to tell, and that's what I want to do, is tell my story. I think you guys will see it, you know, little by little, you know, as time goes. You know how, you know, a lot of the things that I'm experiencing, and you guys are probably gonna fucking grow with me as I'm growing myself, because we started this at a time. I think it started at a perfect time where I kind of just had that realization, and
it was literally at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
like January, like boom.
And it's just like it's the perfect time. So you guys are gonna, all you guys that are watching, you know, you're probably gonna watch, you know, either me grow or me just hit the fucking hit rock bottom and start.
You're gonna pull a Britney Spears and just like shave your head.
Start doing math. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go, but you guys are gonna get to fucking experience that. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but I like what we're doing, and I want to keep it going, and yeah, keep bringing people on here and talking to people today. Unfortunately, some other stuff happened, and we had to, you know.
Yeah, and the something that I've learned is like things never go according to plan. Like,
yeah,
but we're pretty good at improvising, and you know, it works out. And at the end of the day, it works out, and we'll make it work. But it's fun, guys, and like I've said before, your guys' feedback. I think I said on the last one, like I literally read every comment. And one thing I am gonna start trying to do more is reply to you guys and kind of, you know, have that relationship with the audience. Really, there was this guy that I listened to, and he was talking about that. You know, having a relationship with your community and your audience, like, because you guys are the ones watching. You know, I want to know what you guys are thinking, what you guys want to talk about, stuff like that. So, the best way to do that is through the comments or social media. Follow us on there. We have the A-Town Talk account that's linked on there. So reach out, hit us up for any feedback or ideas, or I don't know, just stuff what you guys want to see us do. If you guys want to see us do a whole episode shirtless, sure.
Fuck yeah.
There'll be a fee.
That'll be with nipple tassels.
What was Christine saying? The flaming hot? The flaming nipples?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was actually, I wanted to reply to a lot of people through like my personal YouTube account, but I was like, no. But no, I think I might start just through my own one, just replying to people through that. I think it'd be cool. You know, people would be like, oh, cool. Like he's you know, that because we do read them. I read them too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read all the comments, and I appreciate all the comments and all the support you guys are giving us. So I think just on my own, because I see you've been replying to a lot of them. So probably just go on my own, do it through my own fucking page and reply to them too. If you guys have any questions. Also, I was expecting to get more followers on my social media, dude. Fucking people aren't following. They're all following the page. I have my personal social media too,
So I want to talk about the followers because if you guys have, I don't know if anybody pays attention, but the A-Town Talk account on Instagram, it grew a huge following. It's like at 700 now. It wasn't organic, and I want to put it out there because I don't want anybody like call us out later on. So I'm new at this. All right, I got hit up by one of those promotional pages on Instagram. Where like, oh, like, you can promote your content on here and shit. And I looked at their page and I saw like they post podcasts on there, and I messaged the dude. I'm like, all right, like, okay, like, how does this work? And he's like, oh, like, you have to pay a certain amount and then we'll post your podcast on this page. And I'm thinking like, that'll be cool, because then they promote it, they post it on there, and then like people will like check us out and stuff. And it was like $30 or something. I'm like, it's $30, fuck it. I'll try it. I paid the dude $30 or whatever, and he ended up posting us on this thing. And then I wake up the next morning, and then I see like we gained 500 followers. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh shit, it worked. But then I start looking at the accounts, and they're all like bot accounts. They're like fake accounts. So I guess these people, they just have a bunch of these fake accounts, and they just have them to follow. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, it's not organic. It's not going to be real because they're not going to be commenting. They're not going to be liking or anything.
Sharing.
So it's not real followers. They're fake. One of the followers was a Brad Pitt fan page. And the profile picture is Brad Pitt. And then only the profile picture. And then the rest of the pictures, it's like some girl, like in India. And I was like, what the fuck? But so if you guys look at all the followers, that it skyrocketed. They're not real. I kind of feel shitty about it. I don't know how to like get rid of them. Like, I don't know if I want to go through and get rid of 500. Like, it's gonna be a waste of my time. So, whatever.
We'll just keep them for now.
Yeah.
So what do we have? Like 200 real followers?
Probably. So whatever it's at, just subtract 500, and that's a real follower count. Yeah.
I think we have more or we have closer. We have like 60 on subscribers on YouTube, or what is it?
150, like it's like 152 as of today. So yeah, like 150 some. And that one is good. 154. Oh, we gained a follower, or subscriber. Thank you, whoever that was. But what our reels have been doing really good though.
Yeah.
They've been getting a lot of traction because I can monitor the views and stuff. They've been doing good, and we've actually been getting a lot of likes and a few followers from that. So it's just, some of it is real. And those 500 are not, but fuck, I don't know if it's a scam. Like, did I get scammed?
Nah, I mean, they do what they tell you they're gonna do. They tell you they're gonna give you followers, and
yeah,
they're just fake.
They promote it. Yeah,
but, I mean, it is a scam because they're just taking people's money for fake followers.
Yeah,
but
the one thing I did do is I made the Instagram account like a professional account or like a business account, and I had to like follow all these steps. So now it's like, it's more official, and now I can track.
You can get verified.
Yeah, you have to pay.
You have to pay like
$100.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a certain amount.
Fuck that. I'm not gonna pay, unless
I think you have to pay like monthly or some shit, like to be verified.
For what though? Just for the little check?
Yeah, and I guess people were like, I don't know. I guess people see you and they're like, oh, he's verified.
He's official.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, no.
I'll just let them do it on their own.
Yeah, eventually. But I was gonna say, like, with that you can do what you can boost. Once you make your Instagram account like a business or whatever, there's different things that you can do. So I put it under where I think we're like content creators or video creators. I don't know what it says. You can pay Instagram to boost, to like advertise. Because I noticed I started getting ads for like random podcasts. And I guess because I'm doing a lot of podcast stuff. And yeah, you can pay, and I think it's like $6 a day, or you can choose like up to a week, and you can do like $6 or whatever. And there'll be it's like an ad basically. It'll come up on somebody's feed, and that's a bit more organic, but still like you're paying for an ad. So yeah, we might try that.
Okay. We'll see. We'll just let it all happen on its own. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you like what we do, guys, share it. I think that's probably the best way to get us out there. Tag us, stuff like that. Good stuff. Yeah. So we'll wrap it up. But before we do, we are doing a merch drop soon. We got some cool stuff. You can see there is a koozie, the brown koozie, the leather one on one of the bottles up in the front. We're gonna be doing those. We're gonna be doing these coaster/bottle openers. They're pretty awesome. They're also leather. They got the A-Town Talk logo on them. And there's gonna be another bottle opener. We'll give you guys more details once we kind of figured everything out. We have them already. They are in the process of getting engraved, or I think that's what you call it.
You see?
But they're really cool. They're awesome, and I think it fits our theme, and they're high quality. So
these are nice.
Yeah, I like them. That one's really cool. It's because it's like a coaster/beer opener, bottle opener. So if you want to support us with that, once we get everything, then cool, I will appreciate it. Everything that we make off of it, we're just gonna put it back into the channel and the pod and just get better equipment because that's what we need.
Mics, better mics.
Yeah,
they're expensive.
I ordered some lights and what else did I order? I ordered something else and it was like, fuck, it was like $200, but credit cards. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Boobie, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, just follow along and see where we go, see where it takes us, and hopefully you guys enjoy everything that we're putting out on here. And if you don't enjoy it, then fuck you. Just kidding.
Yeah,
especially that fucking guy who said
cancel these clowns.
No, fuck that guy. But the other one's talking about the moms. That's rude.
Oh, the cow. Yeah,
it's rude, dude.
Yeah, it is pretty rude.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah,
but your mom's fat. I do have a story. Like, I'll tell you guys a story.
Okay. All right.
So when I was in elementary, I think I was like in 3rd or 4th grade. I don't remember. There was this. We were having breakfast in the cafeteria, but it was like one of those days. I think they were having menudo, so your parents were able to come for breakfast and have breakfast with you that day or whatever. My mom couldn't come because she didn't have a car, and my dad was working, so it was just me and my brother, and we were sitting there in the morning eating breakfast. And well, the whole time that I was in line, there was this fucking kid who just kept talking shit. Like, he was with his mom. Like, his mom was standing next to him, and he's just talking shit, like just laughing at me because my mom's not there, like just being an asshole, right? And I'm like, okay, dude, like whatever. So he's like just nonstop, doesn't stop. His mom's not telling him a fucking thing. So then we go and sit down on the table and shit, and we're eating, me and my brother, and then he comes and sits next to us. And then he's like still talking shit, dude. And just his mom's just there, like just talking to him and whatever. And one of the times he called my mom fat. I don't remember exactly what the fuck he said, but he called my mom fat. And I don't know if that was just like the last, or I think he said something like, your mom's too like fat and lazy to come, or some shit like that. He said something like that to me. And that was just like the last straw. It was like the last fucking straw. So I just got up. I fucking grabbed him from his shirt, and I just started hitting him, dude. Boom. I hit him. I just started hitting him. And then I threw him on the ground. I got on top of him, and I'm just like wailing on him, dude. Boom, boom. And then his mom's like, oh my God. So, she gets me off of him. And then I go outside. And if you were done with your breakfast, you could go outside and play. So me and my brother take off. Right after that, we take off, and we're outside. And then they had like these hall monitors, or like little monitors. They would wear like a fucking glow strap belt across their chest.
Mm-hmm.
So like 2 of them come, and they're like, the principal wants you in his office or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, no, I'm not going. And then they're like, you have to go. The principal wants you. And I'm like, fuck no, I'm not fucking going. So then they leave. And then like 5 monitors come out. Now it's like 5 of these fucking kids. And then they're like, the principal wants you to come. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, get the fuck away from me. I'm not fucking going. Dude, they left. They come back with more, dude. It was like, it was like 10 of them, dude. And they're like telling me like the principal wants me. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I started like just cursing at them. And I'm like trying to fight the monitors. Like I was about to throw down with like all 10 of them, dude. They had no fucking nothing wrong. I was just like telling them off, like, fuck you, get the fuck away from me. And then so they end up taking off. And finally the principal has to come out and fucking pick me up. So then we go to his office, and I remember that day I had been in and out of ISS, the in-school suspension, like nonstop that whole year. And he fucking tells me like that. He's like, do you enjoy being in trouble? And I'm like, no. I'm like, and I'm trying to explain to him like his mom was standing there the whole fucking time, and she doesn't tell him anything. Eventually, I hadn't done anything for the whole time we're in the line, the whole time I'm eating, but eventually it just fucking pissed me off, and I did whatever. And like, how come, like, why is that not being, looked at or whatever? And he's just like, he starts telling me that, he's like, you're going to end up in jail when you're older. He tells me that, and I'm like, just sitting there like, what the fuck? And he's like, you're not gonna do anything with yourself. He's like, you're gonna end up in jail. He's like, you're in and out of in-school suspension. He's like, you're either gonna go to jail as a kid and you're gonna just grow up in jail. He's like, but you're not doing anything. And then I was just there like, what the fuck? And I remember that always stuck with me. His name was Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark, you fuck.
I say what you do now is, now that you're a sheriff, let's go get him. Fucking put him back in the cruiser and take him to jail.
Yeah, dude. So that always stuck with me. Him always saying that I wasn't. He pretty much told me I wasn't gonna be shit, dude. But yeah, that was a story for someone calling my mom fat. So yeah, stop calling people's moms fat.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, well, thanks for sharing, dude. Make sure you share that with your therapist also. I'm pretty sure she can dissect it.
Fuck yeah. As an angry kid.
Yeah. You weren't wrong though. You were in the right.
Yeah.
That fucker needed his ass beat.
Yeah, he never talked to me like that again.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we'll end it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Stay tuned. Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.